what's funny
What's up?
is when we're late for the Tuesday show, we're like, "Hey guys, sorry we're late. What's up, everybody?" When we're late for the Saturday show, we're like, "What up?
Yeah,
We're here.
it is what it
Just
is.
be happy that we're here.
Yes,
Whatever."
yes.
So you want to see what I'm drinking shots out of tonight?
What's that? That glass?
Look,
Hey,
man,
when you're on the road, you got to do what you got to
that's
do.
what I'm talking about. You
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
grab what you could grab. So first shot
Cheers.
up.
Hey,
We got
cheers
somebody
to
that's
good.
supposed to be joining us, but I don't.
Yeah. Cheers to
Cheers.
another good week. Another successful week of work and everything else, family, friends, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So cheers to that, and roll tide as always.
Roll Tide, Willie. This is fair.
Hey, we are.
In my defense, I was talking with the boss for like 2 hours before the show, so I'm
Okay.
blaming the boss, even though it's not his fault. But that's how he roll.
And I want to say something too. I'm not too comfortable right now with my setup, the way it is. So I recently got gifted a new computer. Appreciate her and everybody that helped me out with that. And I'm still trying to. The camera's bigger, but I'm still trying to figure out the setup. So when you look over here, there's like blank walls right here, and then the bed. It's just kind of. It's weird. It's weird, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Getting a new computer is like getting a new wife. You got to figure out what all her likes and dislikes.
That's true to a certain extent.
Oh man, what up, Jay?
Shout out to Jay Bake. Jay Bake
is Mr. Consistent. Hey, I see that thread. I'm gonna check in early.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
Might I add, Herb? I do like your shirt too. I like that shirt and your hat. Kind of camo out. I like that. I like that.
Can you still see me?
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. And we'll click this one real quick. Trina, appreciate it. Enjoy the game.
Good evening, Trina. Thank you. Yeah, get back to the game. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
In my normal setup, I had planned to have on the WNBA All-Star game and that game as some support, but here I can't do the same. All right, let's get to the rest of the things. What's up, Zach? Appreciate you.
Shout out to Zach. Thank you for joining us.
And Rod said, "Hey, who is that?" I said, "You see,
I didn't. At first, I thought they meant Los Angeles, like that's where they're out of. But then Herb informed me. So, Lady Alpha, congrats to you. Love it. Thank you for joining us, and congrats to the podcast.
Yeah,
Lady Alpha has been a loyal follower us from basically since day one. So, we appreciate you for joining us, and we will definitely support you as well. Bama Standard said, So I'm in the guest bedroom of our houses, which is where I normally do the podcast at. It's just we have my mom's here now, so I wasn't able to kind of rearrange things the way I wanted to, but I'm in the guest bedroom. So
yeah.
And shout out to the Bama Standard, and shout out to Justin too. We appreciate you, man.
Oh yeah. I think did I say this on the last one? But I don't know, because I was talking to him on there, man. Justin jumped in and started to help us at a time where it was like zero benefit from him to do. So there's still benefit. We're like the lowest rated show on his network. So we gotta First off, who's kidnapping a Ragsdale? That's more trouble than it's worth. We ain't got nothing. I can just see us right now calling mom and she go, "Kidnapped."
If I ever get kidnapped, I want to get kidnapped by an Alabama fan at least.
Yeah, so you're watching.
So while they're at least watch games and talk about that while they're kidnapping me, at least could you imagine getting kidnapped by like a Georgia fan? Oh my god!
Question of death for you before we grab our guest. What would be the worst person to get kidnapped by? A Auburn fan, a Tennessee fan, an LSU fan,
a
Dallas Cowboys fan, or what's
how many options are you going to give me?
4. We'll stick with those 4.
So Dallas Cowboys wouldn't be bad because I live in Arlington. I'm already in the territory there, and they're my second favorite team after the Dolphins, so I'm fine with them. LSU wouldn't be too bad. We still have somewhat of a rivalry with them, but it wouldn't be too bad.
You'd be drunk the entire time.
Tennessee would be bad, but I would say Auburn would be the worst. Auburn and Tennessee are kind of like here, but Auburn's got a little ahead of them, so I just couldn't do it with an Auburn fan. I couldn't deal.
Okay. Rodg, Our guest actually says that he tried to kidnap you. So, one of the family members. So we were just talking good about Justin. We always like to highlight the people who try to help us off the air as well as on. This guest is also one of them. You can tell when the intros get shorter and shorter for the people. That's like we love you more, and you've been on enough to where we're like, hey, let's bring this guy. But he's going to start off by telling us how he tried to kidnap you last year.
Yes.
What's up, Randy?
I don't know that tried is what I said. I considered it. I thought about it.
Almost like it was a thought.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But the logistics, he wouldn't fit a carry-on bag. Like I don't know how I was going to do that.
It was a little too big. A little too big.
Planning. Hold on, Randy, you in?
Mm-hmm. I sure am, boys.
I like the hat too, Randy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
This is everything's special. Now, this segment of the show brought to you by Hunker Spirits. So
I'm down.
There you go.
Randy sent us a nice bottle last year.
He did. We killed that one pretty fast.
It didn't make it through Christmas.
It lasted a few days, maybe.
I think so. Look, that's a sign of respect, right, for the alcohol. Right?
There you go. There you go. But let's be real. Y'all are Alabama people. Y'all couldn't have people walking in the kitchen seeing some Hunker stuff sitting on the counter. Y'all know you had to get rid of the evidence. That's the excuse.
Well, it was at my house
because it was in Dallas.
Yeah,
we can almost get away with anything because they only notice cowboy stuff there. So
okay, fair. That's true.
But I'll say this, Randy. If you send one here and I've got one here in Alabama, I will probably hide it for one Saturday, just to not jinx or do anything. But other than that,
it was good. It was good. Do they make so? This is a serious question. Out of Hunkers, do they make different versions?
Wait.
Label?
I like how he has to say, "Hey, this is a serious question,"
because I don't know if it's going to come off silly to Randy. Because I honestly don't know. I've only had the one that he sent over because you can't get it around here. So I'm like, do they make different labels or how does that?
Okay, so let's seriously answer your question. Yeah. ASW is the distillery based out of Atlanta, and they are national award-winning level bourbon producers. Yes. Hunker started as a vodka option in retaliation to the University of Texas and Tito's, because Tito's are huge donors to the University of Texas, and they built the Tito's brand into their NIL. So if you buy Tito's, you are funding the University of Texas football program.
No
and
wonder
other athletics.
Texas is able to recruit so well. Wow.
So the Bulldogs here in Atlanta said, we're going to create Hunker, and they started with a vodka, which is what I'm enjoying tonight in a little mixy mix. Okay. But then right before last season, they rolled out the bourbon, which was a big hit, best I can tell.
Hit, it was good.
Then
I love it.
Inside ASW, they have a Fiddler line, which is probably their it's I don't know what the right way to say it is, but they have 10, 12 different versions of Fiddler. So that's probably like their name kind of brand. Right. But there's all of it's good. I've never had any of it that's not good. So but if you're a dog fan or you want to support Georgia, then you buy the Hunker stuff because the Fiddler stuff doesn't NIL.
Makes sense.
I like
makes sense.
There you go.
I think a lot of us are in the same boat.
That would be cool.
I mean, those of us that are married are like, no, whatever. Okay.
Oh yeah. Hey, Herb, I saw Randy laugh and smile up at that
one. Randy took a drink so he wouldn't have to answer the question.
Do you know? We didn't get to watch any of the shows like over the weekend. Alice was on vacation last week, and we've been all over the place. So we didn't. The girls, like to watch the ladies wrestle.
Right. Yeah. Right. Which was a phenomenal show, by the way. The Evolution.
Yeah. And we could give two rips about the men. We don't care at all. Yeah. Not at all. But the women, we enjoy it. And so last night we quickly went back and ran through all the Raw and then SmackDown and all the shows. Yeah. Right. And they were like, oh, we get to see all of our favorites, so all those ladies, they got to kind of condense it down and spend like an hour watching and got to see all those ladies.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The reason I was smiling is because they're fans of Rhea too. And the thing I always say about her is I'm like, she's so long, she's long, and very strong, but she's just long. Like everything about her fingers, her arms, she's just very long.
Yeah. That's why I kind of like the Io Sky rivalry she's got going on, because it's a huge contrast in what you're getting from both people. So.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't watch wrestling as much as I used to, but I do like the fact that women's wrestling is much more to the forefront than it was back in the day.
I agree.
Back when I used to watch wrestling, it was just ladies coming out there and, doing whatever
bikini
they want,
matches and stuff. Yes,
the little stupid stuff like that. But now it's completely changed, and I love that. I love that how the WWE and all the other brands push women's wrestling. So I love that.
You're watching it for the wrestling now, for sure.
Yes.
It was so cool because they've brought back a couple of the lady Hall of Famers, recently. Bella, somebody, Nikki Bella. I don't even
Nikki Bella.
One of the Bella twins, and is what she is, and Trish Stratus. Yeah.
There you go. And I'm not real familiar with them because that was from the era I wasn't paying attention. Yeah. I knew of them. Yes. And so the girls are like, who are these people? And I try to explain to them the different like windows of time. Like this 10 years was this sort of thing, and then this 10 years was this sort of thing. I'm like, you girls are in the best sort of era right now if you want to watch these ladies that are athletic and they can really put on a show, and they can understand. The girls like it because it's just a joke. We're like drama, and they get into the storyline and all that stuff. And I'm like, it's a good time for you girls to be enjoying this.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
I didn't think I was going to be talking this much wrestling though.
So one thing we love about the Saturday night show, we'll prepare stuff and we'll put up our thumbnail, we'll get it, but the conversation goes where the conversation goes. Yes, and there is no crap, we got to get back to talking about this specific thing. You know what I mean?
I do.
We'll cover the topics, but there's honestly been at least one of our shows where one of the topics we'd already been on for like over an hour with, hey, by the way, here's the list. Here's what it looks like.
Right.
Yep.
Sorry, but if people are drinking along with us, they won't care too much. So
that's fine. That's what the show's supposed to be, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's why, like, when you text, I'm like, hey, man, we take
come on
whatever. We've had the latest we've had somebody come on is they posted a comment, and we were like, come on, and they came on the show. So. We take all comers, but we can't talk wrestling without mentioning our favorite wrestling podcast.
Shout out to Big Mike.
Podcast network. Is it going to be our second favorite though? Do we got to show love to the ladies now that they're coming up there, or do we just have it a tie?
We got to show love to both of them. We have to show equal amount of love to both of them. Yes.
But Mike, you always be our favorites.
What do y'all call this show? I'm trying to read the thing right there.
Where you
After Dark. Yes.
After Dark. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. See, I just realized I'm like, I didn't stream to my channel. So I've got to jump on here and see if it'll let me do it. But that's what I'm doing. Y'all,
I got you.
Well, if you can, we'll
get caught up on comments real quick. And we appreciate that, Randy, because we hope to get some Georgia folks in there. We always, I'll let you finish and then we'll talk about that. But I always like how represented you are. What's up, Domo?
Shout out to Domo. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Tentatively might join us next week.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Justin Riley has talked about it the week after. So, but I don't know. Like I said, people out there.
Now, if Justin jumps on, we'll have to bring out the champagne. We can't drink this stuff. We have to bring out champagne.
Justin's on there. You got to get fancy. Stuff. Hey, fancy like Applebee's, man. Fancy like Applebee's.
Applebee's. Hold on. And while you're on it, let me say, and I'll be the proud person to say it. I am a big fan of Applebee's. I feel like this is a nice atmosphere. You can go there, have a few drinks, regardless of price. Still have a good time, good food, good
we're not talking about until they sponsor us. So no.
You're right, and you're right. And with that being said, we mentioned Arby's on the other show Thursday night. We were talking about Arby's with the Way Off Sides guy. I am a huge proponent for Arby's. I love Arby's, man. I love Arby's.
We got the beef, meat, whatever it is they got.
No, don't say that, Randy. Don't say that. Listen, I'll say this again. When you go to Arby's, you don't go to Arby's and order a roast beef and cheddar sandwich. You don't order that. You order the Reuben, and you order the French dip sub sandwich, and you get it with curly fries and then whatever sauces you want, the Arby's sauce or whatever.
Hey,
don't go ordering a roast beef sandwich.
I'm a fan of the French dip.
What now?
Yeah,
Arby's has their own sauce.
Oh yeah, they have their own sauce. So that's that's y'all's assignment for this next week. I want y'all both go to Randy. You go to Arby's.
I'm a veteran, man. I'm all about the curly fry and the French dip.
Oh, okay,
I had to stop eating it because that French dip is like salty. It
is. It's
like, I got to take it easy.
I told y'all on the show, Arby's used to be my joint when I was working at the airport. because when I got off at midnight, it was one of the few places. And it's funny
Not a lot of
because
places
in the spot on 280 where I would go to, there's a Taco Bell, a McDonald's, and an Arby's. And even if you wanted Taco Bell and McDonald's at midnight, there's a huge line. Arby's, you just
no line. Yep.
So let's catch up real quick. All right. Terramana from I've only had
I've had the Reposado,
the tequila.
I believe.
Yeah, I've never seen
but
a vodka.
If you put that in the freezer, that Terramana stuff, it's really good. Really, really good.
She just looks huge out there compared to the others. If you had told me she was
5'7",
I would have believed it. So
wait, really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, then those other ladies are tiny.
Aya Sky, like she's I gotta see her. That was a phenomenal match, by the way, at Evolution between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
What is she? 5'1". Well, I guess there you go then.
Mm-hmm.
Who's 5'1"? Aya Sky?
Yeah, Aya Sky is 5'1". Yep. So, in LA, hope everything's all right. See, she just had to go out of there.
Yeah, Lady Alpha, thank you for joining us. We appreciate
What's up? Good evening to you. That's one of your guys, right? I guess your stream is just caught on.
Yeah, it just jumped live. I appreciate Tim jumping in.
Thank you, Timothy. We appreciate you.
What's up, Jay?
See, this is
Jay
what I'm
Bake
saying.
Was gonna have
I know. You don't order that from Arby's because it's going to look like 2 pounds of roast beef and cheddar. It's just too much going on.
Oh,
I had to get away from that a long time ago.
I never have been able to do the cheddar thing. That doesn't work for me. Just, like you say, give me the French dip. Put a little Arby's sauce on there.
Yeah,
a little spicy. I can do that. I can do that.
Bird Dogs get there. Yeah, I forgot what took so long for the Eagles to get theirs, but
I saw that. I saw where they were giving Devontae Smith his ring too. Those rings. It seems like those rings get more impressive every single year because somebody's got to do something different than the previous year. But
can you tell that inflation is not hitting them?
No, they're good.
The rest of us, but they're like whatever.
So let me ask you guys a question right quick.
Hold on, I think Randy was about to give him.
Go ahead, Randy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I thought they were out of hand when the Braves won their last World Series because they had that thing on top where you could open it and it looked like the stadium inside the ring. So the top.
Gotcha.
I'm like, there are little people in there. Yeah. I don't want any of that.
That kind of goes to what my question was: is if you guys won the Super Bowl and you had a Super Bowl ring, would you wear it out in public or would it stay at home? I feel like, and I'm asking that, let me give my answer. I feel like every once in a while, I would just put it on just for the heck of it and wear it out in public. Hopefully I have security with me or something. But
I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I don't do any jewelry.
Yeah.
There's no tattoos, there's no jewelry, no watches. I have my wedding ring and we got a simple one and just so I never take it off and it never gets damaged. Other than that, I would like to say, I would show it off.
Yeah,
but I'm sure I would stick it in a drawer and forget where it was at some point.
Yeah,
I can think of it two ways. One is I would wear it occasionally just because and be reminded of how heavy it is. So that's probably how it would go. But
gotcha.
I think back to I can't remember the player's name now, but he said he just won the Super Bowl the last year or two.
Okay,
and he was like, I worked all my life to get there and win the thing, and now that we've won it, he's like, the thrill of winning it lasted 10 minutes. Yeah. And then all I could do was think about, I got to get ready to do the next one.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you can't even enjoy it. So for that reason, I would probably bring it out occasionally just to be like, we did do that,
Yep.
But you can't live there. You gotta keep it moving.
Yeah. See, I would do something along what Jeremy just said. I would wear it to special occasions just for the heck of it. And people are like, that's my Super Bowl ring. But
But if I did it, I would wear the most plain clothes ever. So you really just were looking at the ring. You'd see me out in a tank top, shorts, sandals, and this ring. You'd be like, what the heck? I would make it a contrast. Now, didn't Jay bet me last year and lose about the thing?
Jay
didn't come in with a hello, how you guys do it? Last year, Jay, I feel like it was Jay. If I was wrong, I forget.
I feel like that's Jay's way of saying hello.
Yeah. Some people say hello, some people punch you in the mouth.
Right.
I don't know. It could be whatever. So last year, one of the Georgia fans over on the network said that Alabama would win 7 games, something like that, 7 or 8 games. And I was like, no, we're going to win more than 8. We won 9, and then they tried to back out of it at the last minute. Are we counting the bowl game? I was like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't recall who it might have been. There's a lot of Georgia fans out there who want to make bets about all kinds of stuff like that. So I don't know. You'll never hear me say that.
You know what? Putting your faith, and that was just me saying I think they'd win some games. Putting your faith and money in 17, 18, 19-year-olds, that's you got some cojones if that's what you want to do with your money. So it's a picture of mine haven't showed their banana life. I don't trust those.
He just keep it on his phone, or better yet, he'd take a photo of it, post it on a website, then make a QR code that would send you to the website to see the photo. So if you see him in public, he'll just be like, "Here, scan me." Boom.
Scan me. Yeah. Mike would add an NFT of his
own. Yeah. Can't say I blame him.
No, not at all. Not at all. So, and I think I mentioned in there, Domo might be on next week, so we'll talk to him about it, and then Justin. And Big Mike probably going to ask you to host one of these shows coming up pretty soon. So, here's how we go. We don't message you. We just ask you on air just to make it completely awkward. So,
I like it.
Justin, this is Justin's way of saying, "Hey, can you guys get on topic?"
Yeah.
So I already know where I want to start.
Yeah.
Right. Randy, you made a post about Texas's comments. Yeah. And one Texas fan decided to take umbrage with it.
Oh, yeah.
Except took it in the total. I was reading this exchange and saying they totally missed the point of what they were saying. So it was hilarious. But you want to break down first off the comments itself. I should have loaded that up. I apologize for that. But
I hate to even put a spotlight on it because I'm like, what are we doing? But essentially all I said was I took Steve Sarkisian's words straight from the transcript, and he made a statement about how there's only so much money to go around. That's how he started it. And then he said, we don't talk about NIL and all those things first. In fact, if that's what you care about, we don't even want you to come to Texas. And in the room, you could see all the professionals, all the writers sitting there. They were like, oh, really? Really? You going to say that? And he wrapped it in a bunch of other word salad. Right. So he didn't come out and say, what he was saying was money is a part of it, but we don't lead with it. Yet, if you go to their social media feeds or you go to anything associated with their recruiting weekends that come up, the very first thing you see is that they walk all the recruits by all these big fancy cars. You have player after player that has decided that they were going to go to Texas, come out after the fact and say, it was a business decision, or it was about my brand, or it was about, the players are pulling the rug right out from under them and saying, look, I went to Texas because they paid me the most money.
Yep. Can I say something real quick on that?
Just admit it, bro. Just admit
Lambos. Yes. When he did it. So, yeah.
Just admit it. Don't come out there and say it's not what we lead with. It's not. Don't do that. Be who you are. And if that's who you are, be that person. And that's all I was trying to say.
Oh, I got what you were saying.
And then Homeboy was like, this, that, the other thing. And I'm like, man, come on now. I was trying to be nice, but I'm like, are you that dense? Like, don't be dense. Like, don't do that. Or maybe you're okay with it. Maybe you're okay with it. I don't know. But I just didn't think it was a good look. And everybody that I talked to didn't think it was a good look. And exactly what I said on the post, which was disingenuous and frankly insulting to step up there and say that when everything else that you're doing around it screams the polar opposite.
I agree. That's why I thought it was hilarious. He said Deion said the same thing about Colorado last year. No, I mean, we all know what's going on. Like I said, with what we're posting there and Isaiah Bond, we saw him with a Lambo the first time he got there. That had nothing to do with football. I think a Lambo he didn't even get, by the way. But
it goes even. It just there was so much more to it though, because that was the day that the 5-star linebacker committed to Texas.
Right.
And that had been a head-to-head battle. Everybody knew between 2 or 3 schools. Georgia was among them. And then I think it was later that day, Georgia had a player that had committed to them, flipped to Texas, right?
Right.
And that dude came out and said, it's a better environment and culture in Texas than it is in Georgia. That's why I flipped.
Come on.
And the same thing happened. just got ratioed in the comments beneath my post because they're like, what are you doing? Just say what it is. Justice Terry was like, I got paid. Yep. Okay. Okay.
At least you admitted it. Yeah.
Don't come out there and say something that's just like try to cover it up.
Yeah.
So all that was in the backdrop while Sarkisian was saying this.
Right.
And everybody in the room, they were just like, come on, man, really?
Right.
Really?
It was definitely a tone deaf comments. It was hilarious.
Yeah. So anyway, it is.
Oh, look at this. Our first ever super chat? Or is this a Randy super chat? Did they?
No, KC has become a frequent visitor to my channel. Okay. So I don't know. Maybe it's showing up. Maybe it's on my channel. I don't. So if it's KC, thank you, brother. If that's you on our channel.
KC, we appreciate you, KC.
Yes,
thank you.
Either Randy or either way. Don't want to diminish. Excuse me. No, he definitely lost credibility. That was just a dumb comment to make. Like Randy's. I mean, Randy put it perfect. I'm not gonna go on with that one. He put it perfectly. He definitely lost. Yeah, it was a terrible.
We appreciate you.
Thank you, Casey. Either way for chiming in.
Let's see. Oh yeah, it's Casey, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. And just for a second, if y'all will allow me, Casey started coming on during the SEC nights this week. Okay. So I went live every night, and I had as many guests from around the country, as many writers, as many all the people that you meet and know. Right. And everybody was great coming on there and chatting with me. And Casey found us during that stretch. I didn't recall seeing him. I assume it's him. So if I'm wrong, let me know. Before that, really. But he jumped in there and enjoyed the streams and has just been a fantastic supporter since he came on. So, Casey, I just want to take the opportunity to say thank you. Because during those nights, I didn't really have a chance to, break out of whatever we were doing. And so I just want to say thank you, Casey. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah. And that's I want to touch on that. Let's catch up on comments real quick and then go. Mike said 2 weeks. So Mike, I hope we're doing another
sorry. This vodka's got me all like
hey, it's time for another shot for me then. You know what I'm taking a shot of? Banana pudding moonshine.
Wait a minute. Okay, all right, Herb.
Never had that one before.
So many questions.
All right, listen.
Herb.
If you enjoy it, brother. So let me start with that. But you got to know, moonshine don't come on a shelf with a barcode. You got to know.
That's true. That's true. It's but okay. Yeah.
I look. I have family members, from my wife's side, who were at the spots that get you the real moonshine.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just
the real stuff. The real stuff it hits you a lot different.
Well, the real stuff I wouldn't be finishing the show. So
yes, it does.
Mike, I hope we're doing another Wrestling for Dummies before SummerSlam. So.
Yeah, I've only had the real stuff one time, and that was enough for me. It was. I said, okay, wow.
Yeah. All right, okay. So now we see this comment right here. I got a comment. Yeah. I got. There's one. I don't think I can share my screen. I wouldn't even know how to do it. There's a photo. If you go to, I think it's the Texas X feed, and you look at it there, you're going to see a picture of, it's a profile picture of Arch Manning. And then over here, you see Pat Forty, you see, the cat's name, I forget his name, he writes for The Athletic. They're standing on this side, listening to Arch, and they are gazing at him like it is the first love, like spring love. And I was like, find you somebody that looks at you the way Pat Forty and this dude look at Arch. So T. Smitty is on it. If you hadn't seen that photo, go find it because it is impressive. I was like, Pat, man, there's cameras. Calm down. It was something else. There it is. Look at those gazes. Look at those gazes.
I just put it up on my phone too. Yeah. Oh my God. They are drooling over this guy.
I know. And don't get me wrong. He is very impressive. He's very, very obviously used to the attraction, and he's self-deprecating when he can be. I don't have a problem with Arch Manning. I think people aren't being fair to him. Right. I think that he has to go out there and play. And he said as much, which is him obviously being good at the media. He's like, I haven't earned any of this. I have to go prove it. Good on you, kid. Go prove it. Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
People are going to hate Arch not for Arch. They're going to hate Arch for everything else.
Yeah.
And that's, like you said, it's not his fault at all. But it is what it is at this point. So
I just couldn't get over that picture, man. Yeah. Could not get over it.
That was a good call. This was an older one when y'all were talking about it, but until Texas comes to Athens. I don't think it matters where y'all play. Y'all have to play North Dakota, and I'm still taking Georgia anyway. So the amount of trash talk in that thread from Texas fans. You got beat twice, last year by
What
the same
day?
team, and not even the best version of Georgia. You know
right.
what I mean?
Right.
So, wait till this is a better version this year. It's going to be even worse. So, no.
Yeah.
I like this one, Jeremy. Cost one a $75 gift card. I like it, sir.
There you go.
I forget what this was about. What we were the Epstein list, but that I always have to put up something about that because that's just a hilarious topic. So, Jeremy, I'll save your other comment for other. We tempted her with Arby's coupons to get
Eli Drinkwitz.
Reese's peanut butter cups get me though. So
Eli stepped to the podium and he brought the funnies. Y'all know he's the new Spurrier in the league. He's not Spurrier, but he's the new Spurrier in the league. He came with the funnies when he stepped to the mic, and it was cool. He did a good job, and of course he made a joke about that too.
Yeah.
Can you see the two approaches? This would be Justin's approach, and this would be Jay Bake's approach of how to get you. So, I think he's talking about it is, man. Like I said, it's from the old Smoky line of moonshine. So, like I said, I know it's not the serious.
Send me a picture of the bottle later, Herb, and I'll see if I can. Just send me no. Send me a picture. Nope.
Don't show me anything. Nope.
They're Cooper going to take, of course, and that's like 90% of your guys. So, Randy, that brings up. Remind me, I have a transfer portal question to ask you. And
okay.
I want to get the rest of this out the way, but there's something Justin Riley and I were talking about before we got on here.
Okay.
Bojang, back there.
I don't think I know Justin, by the way. So, Justin, hello.
From Bama Standard Network? Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've ever actually interacted with him. So, Justin, pleasure.
We'll have to connect you. So, Randy, you're popular in those parts. So, we're trying to, anybody who says something, we're sending your information on. So, I know the Way Outside's guys got up with you this past week. So
y'all know I'll go anywhere. Let's just talk about it. And to that point, we can talk about any of these teams y'all want to talk about from SEC Media Days.
And that's what I want to get into next. So, Randy, for some reason, when I got my new phone, I get notifications out the wazoo. Like, I have 20 notifications. I don't even know what all these apps are, right? Usually I just clear them off and go. But the last notification here is on your network poll. Did you enjoy my nightly live stream coverage of 2025 Media Days? I haven't cleared all these notifications because I want to go vote in this poll and quote to you and say, yes, Randy, I really enjoyed it. So you're the reason for my 20 notification on there. I really enjoyed the series. I love the people that you brought on. I felt like it was, you know how this business is. It's hard to find the balance between some guy who's just going to be rah, my team's undefeated all year. Like, you want to find somebody who's like, look, my team might go 8-4 this year. It might be it. Mm-hmm. So I love the guests. So going through that and with the different people you talked about, what are some of your biggest takeaways talking from SEC Media Days from the people that were actually covering it? So.
Okay, so that's the cool thing.
This is Justin saying to you, so.
Yeah, Nick Abrams, for sure. He seems like a really good dude, and his build at his age is pretty impressive too. Yeah. So SEC, so Ty, most of the people that were on the show this week, they were not podcasters, YouTuber type folks. They were people who write articles daily, stuff like that. They're more from my other life, that sort of pool of folks.
Right.
And I like that because we see it the same way. And what I mean by that is they're going to show up and they're going to be honest with you as long as they know I'm keeping it real, like it's a good, like if they know that I know something about it and we're having a conversation, then they're going to tell me what's up. You know what I mean? Right, they're not just going to say the boilerplate stuff or any of that. They're going to be like, all right, look, here's what I think. So I appreciated all of them for that. There were a couple that came on that are of the podcast group, but that's because I know those folks and I'm like, you guys, this is cool. Let's do this. So there were a couple of exceptions. So I appreciate you saying that the selection was good because I thought all those guys did a great job and they were all.
I did. I tried to catch as much of it as I could whenever it popped up, or at least pop in and say, hey, Randy, I'm checking you out. I'm either saving this for later. No, I thought it was a good group. It's funny that you do mention writers because we kind of end up with more podcasters on here. We've only had one writer, I think. Mm-hmm. But it's been a good mix. It's been a good mix. But anyway, like I said, get back to yours. I don't know if you're reading the chat. They're talking about Seven Cloud now getting in some trouble. I guess a Georgia commit. But
he had some news breaking today.
Situation.
He's a kid. He was the myth in Georgia's recruit. He originally committed to Georgia back in like 2021 or something like that, and then he had to go to JUCO. But he was going to stay with them the whole time. And then this was the year he's finally going to get here. I mean, I don't even know that much about the young man, honestly, because you never could track it down. Like, is he coming? Is he not coming? All that kind of stuff. I hate that this happened. If there's anything to it, then I wouldn't be surprised at all if he's not part of this class anymore moving forward.
Right.
But
I don't.
Somebody
just said that. Yeah.
I don't know enough about it at this stage. I don't know enough about it to have a real opinion. But if there's anything to it, I don't think he'll be a part of the group ultimately.
Right. Yeah. And by the way, Jeremy, I've got 2 of your questions saved. We'll fit them in when they can. So don't think I'm ignoring your questions. And we do try to get all our comments in on shows like this. And anybody else has questions, if they don't fit at that exact moment, I star them, and we'll get to them in a minute. So go ahead, Randy. What was some of your different takeaways from this week as far as stuff goes?
I finished the 4 days thinking LSU was a bigger threat than maybe I had given them credit for.
Right.
I had them somewhere in the middle of the league. I have moved them up in my mind, knocking on the upper tier of the league, you know, after talking to some people. Florida is better. Their 2 deep is probably the best 2 deep that Napier's had since he's been there, but the overall depth of the team is not great. But as far as talent is concerned, they're more talented than they have been. So that gives them the opportunity to be better. I don't know that that's
a brutal schedule, though.
Their schedule is going to hurt them.
Right. I don't know that that's going to equate to any more wins, but they could end up, at 7 or 8 wins, and that's probably fair. And if the ball bounces the right way, they could maybe get to 9. But the thing about that is with Florida, it could go sideways early, and then that'll go out the window. Even though they're better, all that could go out the window. And Graham, who came on and talked to me about Florida, made a connection that I hadn't made, which was, if Napier, if it does go sideways and he finds himself in trouble and ultimately he loses his job this year at any point, that means like 75-80% chance that Lagway is probably going with him. So if you're the University of Florida, not with him, but he's going to transfer somewhere else. And if you're Florida, you have a choice to make. Do we live with Napier and just keep betting on the future so that those two are tied at the hip, or do we take our chance because it's the best move for Florida? Right. So that'll be interesting to watch. It's a really cool dynamic. I think maybe I had Missouri ranked higher going into the week than I came out of the week. And that's not necessarily their fault. It's more about just what I think about what's around them. Because like I said, I think A&M, I think LSU in my mind moved up. I still think Tennessee's probably going to slide a little. So
now the Tennessee guy that we had on seemed to be very confident in their new guy, but I don't feel like the rest of the league feels that way. And as far as Missouri, it feels like last year was one of their more talented teams, and they just kind of wasted it. So it doesn't feel like it's going to get better going into the next year.
There was a lot of talk about Oklahoma and how people really at the beginning of the week wanted to buy into Oklahoma. And Mateer was driving all of that. But after talking and hearing what other people had to say about it, I think Oklahoma's going to be better, but I still think they're probably just a middle of the pack kind of team inside the conference. I don't think they're going to be knocking on that door like maybe some people had thought they might be. And that's even if Mateer and the defense come along the way they need them to come along to be better.
And to that point, Jay from Unfair Sports, he was our Oklahoma guy. I think he had them at like 7-5, 8-4. He was not. When we had him on ours, he's also on Locked On Sooners. Let me give him all his credit. We had to talk him into 9-3 on the show. So to what you're saying there, even the Oklahoma people, I don't think are super high on.
I think if you're being honest, there's just issues there, and it's. I mean, Venables could be better and hold on to his job, but I'm just I don't see them making that big move. I jumped into my chat here. I see Randy Payne has joined us. Randy, I didn't usually get to make it to my streams.
Okay.
So I'm happy to see you, Randy Payne. Good to have you in here, buddy.
Well, he was the one that actually started the Seven Cloud. He's the one that posted about that. And then he said, I don't know if this is where you're reading, Alabama and Georgia should make the playoffs this year. So, I mean, we're both hoping so.
Regarding LSU, what's making you feel better about LSU after this week, or making you feel more up on LSU? Were there some questions that were answered, or did something necessarily happen this week? Like, why do you feel a little better about them?
I think in just like I'm taking an overall view of LSU because Brian Kelly, even though he's had a rough time at the beginning of the year, and the tag on him is that they have underachieved as a whole. I mean, he still has already been to the SEC championship game, had 10-win seasons, you know. I mean,
they were there.
They were there. Yeah. They were there. Hey, TCU played in the national championship game too.
I mean, yeah, they were there. I think both of those games were. If those two teams had combined, maybe those two games, against them would have been better. But otherwise, there was an appearance. I give them, look, they beat us, so I shouldn't talk that much trash.
Yeah,
but it was an appearance. It wasn't a game.
I think about LSU, I've been, at least solid with Nussmeier. I think I feel better about Nussmeier than I did. Not that I ever felt bad about him.
Right.
I just think that the buy-in is that they have wide receivers who are going to catch the ball.
Yep.
They believe they have players to plug back into the offensive line where they have to plug players. Right. They think they've got guys. And the answer for me was on defense. They don't have to be they don't have to be Georgia 2021.
Right.
Yeah.
They have to be better than they have been. And with all the Meeks boys there, with Harold Perkins there, finally, hopefully figuring out how to use him correctly, I think they think that they're going to be able to play enough good defense to where that offense, which they expect to be explosive, year 1 to year 2 for Nussmeier as the man in that offense. I think they're just sort of betting on we're going to score enough to where if we're just incrementally better on defense, that's going to raise our overall level of play. So I think that moved them for me from, 8 to 10. They probably now are somewhere up in the neighborhood of 5 to 6, maybe.
Right.
4 to 6, maybe for me. Heading into the season, I still haven't stopped and written out my predicted order of finish, but right now they would be right there somewhere.
Right.
Okay.
And Daily Joy, who was on ours with her LSU thoughts, I think she had them in about 10-2. She didn't think they could win at Alabama. She just thought that was a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like what you just said in there. That first game, they're not good at the first game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you got to get over that. And Charmaine, I saw you post earlier, and I forgot to say hello.
Thank you for joining us, Charmaine.
Appreciate it. So, and didn't they just move his position too, Perkins as well? So.
Now, Charmaine, I'm not sure. I think she's on my stream. I'm not positive over there. Charmaine, I don't know that I've seen you. Welcome, and I agree with your statement wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Like, let that kid do what he's good at. Don't try to make him, into something that he's not. So. Welcome in, Charmaine.
Yeah. What was it? Alabama had the LSU cornerback transfer over and sat him for half the year because they were trying to fit him into the right scheme or whatever. And the name escapes me, so I have to get that. So a lot of Darren from Tifton, Georgia.
So
appreciate it.
We just brought up the fact with Brian Kelly, has had some bad rough starts to the opening season. Obviously, they haven't won an opening game, I think, since 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Does LSU win at Clemson this year? Does LSU lose their season opener this year?
It feels like a no.
I feel like they'll lose.
It just feels it's hard to buck hit. Like, obviously the streak's going to get beat at some point, right? Alabama's won 5 games in a row against Auburn. We're all scared because we know at some point it's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But this LSU, and what the SEC Media Dave's even kind of read, hey, we're just focused on the first game and blah, blah, blah. So he's saying all the right things.
But that's changed, right? I mean, that his spiel has changed. He used to be a cat who didn't put so much pressure on that first game.
Right.
And now he's completely 180 on it. He's like, no, we are going to focus on this game. Right. So if they do lose, then that's really going to sting because, they've been staring at it for all these months.
And it's something that you kind of, I guess, I don't know what to say, dance. We didn't directly dive into, but a lot of LSU fans feel like it's not the talent, it's Kelly holding them back, and you have the evidence. They clearly have one of the more talented teams, I think, year in and year out, but it's not getting all put. There's no excuse for their defense to be as horrendous as it's been.
Right.
Now with the resources, and Casey's already picking LSU over Clemson. I want Clemson to win. I just think it would just.
I want Clemson to win too for obvious reasons. Yeah.
Well, in a perfect world, I would want LSU to win. Just because, I mean, I grew up a half hour from Clemson, so whenever Clemson loses, I'm like, haha, but that's just me. I think though that I probably have to go with Clemson just because I trust their defense more than I trust LSU's offense. But I think that it could be just an extremely entertaining game because if Nussmeier and that offense is better, then they're going to be going up what is expected to be a quality Clemson defense, and that could be a whole lot of fun.
I agree. Seems like a good time because we're talking about SEC media games. Let's get to the first of Jeremy's questions. Thoughts on the QB at FSU? Because then the reason why I tie it into media days is because of Lawson's comment. So first off, just taking the comment in general, I don't mind anybody talking trash. I understand. Right. And if anybody saw later on Castellanos, the quarterback, he ran into Isaiah Horton at one of the little training camp things, whatever, and he tried to explain, I'm just trying to hype up my team. There's a way to hype up your team. If you just want to say, hey, Alabama's not ready for me, we're going to take it to them week 1, fine. When he said Saban's not coming to save you, that was just disrespectful, and that was unnecessary. And Lawson as much said, hey, this is a defender, by the way, saying the disrespect will be addressed
on the field.
That's telling me, look, we might take a 15-yard penalty somewhere in this game.
Let me say something though.
To get an extra hit on you.
If I was Castellanos and I saw Isaiah Horton like this, man to man, you don't go up to somebody and say, hey man, I was just trying to hype up my team. No, you said what you said. Yeah. You have to stand firm on that. Stand on business, as they like to say.
Stand on business. Yeah. I'm going to stand on another drink.
You don't see the player from the opposing team and be like, oh, hey, man, I was just trying to hype up my team. I'm not saying any of that. I said what I said. We'll see what happens on the field. If we lose by a lot, so be it.
Too far, Raj.
Yeah,
that was too far.
Don't do that.
But Randy, that's the Alabama view. What do you think, kind of from looking back at
it? Just the statements.
Yes, and then what? Yeah.
The only good thing I saw that kid do last year was when he went to Florida State and ran around on a bad Florida State team. You know what I mean? That was the only time I got to see him play last year. And then when I learned he was going to be playing at Florida State, I was like, you know what happened last year, right? I'm not sure if that was such a wise move anyway. But I'm not. Look, if Diego can get out there and say whatever he's going to say about Alabama, then the kid from Florida State can get out there and say whatever he's going to say. That's what they are. They're 19 to 24 or 18 to 20 to whatever. They're going to – a lot of times they put their chin way too far out. You know what I mean? So that happens.
Especially as the quarterback. That's...
Yeah. I wouldn't want my guys doing that.
No.
I mean, I can say that for sure.
Yeah.
But I think I've told you guys before. I think Alabama should win the game. I really don't think it should be that close. But given the way every team turns their rosters over outside of, say, 4 or 5 in the country, then who knows? Maybe they are going to be really good. But I don't really. I'm not banking on that. I think Florida State's going to go out there, and even though they're at home, I think they're probably going to take it on the chin that day.
Yeah, I would think so too. You had another. Well, we had kind of getting through Jeremy's questions. LSU and Florida, contenders or pretenders. I think Florida's schedule is going to slow them down.
Yeah, that's
LSU. I just can't figure out if you're saying because I just feel confident in Alabama at home. JB on Talking Bama on Sunday night when we were talking about what games could trip up Alabama because you laugh at us, but I pick them at 10-2. I think the 2 losses would probably come between at Georgia, at South Carolina, at Auburn. Which, by the way, as we talk, I get more confident about the at South Carolina part. I don't know if that's weird or not.
So that it's going to be difficult, or that you're going to win.
That we're going to win. I feel a little bit better about South Carolina just with some of the losses on defense, and even the South Carolina guy, was talking about, hey, there's certain spots we lost, so we kind of need this one guy to be really great.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? It's just, I feel a little bit better about that. I feel if you were ranking them, it's at Georgia, at Auburn, then out South Carolina. And we kept overlooking LSU coming to us. And I was like, are we overlooking?
Possibly? I didn't overlook that game, to be honest with you, and not taking anything from LSU. I just feel more confident in that game, and I don't know how it's going to be much more different than last year's game. Obviously, we won't have Milroe, so will Ty Simpson be running the ball down the throat? Probably not, but I think we'll still be able to establish a good ground game against LSU's defense, and then mix that up with a nice air game. So I feel confident about the game overall.
Yeah, but to the exact point of this question, sorry, I'll let you get in, Randy. But my point of saying that is, if I think they're going to lose to Alabama, and they could possibly lose to Clemson to start, we're already at 10-2.
Yep.
And with the 12-game playoff, we've already kind of said, hey, if you lose one more, you're out.
Yep.
That almost puts me in the pretenders for LSU than contenders. And sorry, go ahead, Randy.
Well, I mean, just to clarify, Jeremy, is he asking about the SEC or is he asking about making the tournament? Because those are not exactly the same thing. I understand that one probably has to happen before the other one can.
Right.
But and I say that only to say that in terms of being a contender inside the conference, I would say that Florida is not. They're better.
I would agree.
They're better, hands down. But because of the schedule and because again, the depth issues that they have that are real, I just don't know. I just don't know that they can get it done. And I know they have to play my Georgia Bulldogs, and that game is a game that Kirby Smart got zero tolerance for losing.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So, you can't lose that.
So, I just think saying they're going to compete for an SEC championship this year has probably been a little too far out there. As for LSU. Again, I have not done my predicted order of finish yet, so I don't recall their schedule, but I still think that they are going to be knocking on the door of that upper group. And, if it comes together for them, then yeah, I guess they are a contender. I mean, if I'm going to call Alabama a contender and I'm going to call Georgia a contender and Texas a contender, and I'm saying they're on the, knocking on the door, then there you go. I mean, that a bounce here or there, and they are a contender. So, I would give LSU a greater chance to be in that discussion than I would Florida.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So, all right. So, and that was 1-2, and then gotcha.
And I pointed out the other night, I jumped in, I crashed that other Alabama stream. Off the top of that one, I was like, here I am watching another Alabama stream. What am I doing with my life? And I was laughing. But I did point out over there that Alabama's in the same position Georgia is. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately. The way Gunnar Stockton plays his game. Well, again, I think he's the guy. I think he's going to lead the offense. I think that's who it is.
Right.
The way he plays, though, concerns me, and so I want Ryan Puglisi to get every rep he can get. I want him to get live game action reps every time he can, and I want this competition to continue down into the fall, because Kirby bringing Gunnar on its face says he's our starter, but I think what you have to do is read into that a little bit more. He wasn't making that statement. He was essentially saying this is a reward. Given the makeup of our team, he is a veteran, and this is a reward for all of his work so far and the fact that he is in front in the competition, right? So he's done everything he can do to be the guy. He hasn't been named, and I think it was just Kirby going, you're the example of what we want people to see, not a crowning of him as the starting quarterback. But I assume he is, and the way he plays is scary in that if he gets hurt, then we're sitting there with a guy with zero experience as our number 2 quarterback. And Alabama is in the same boat.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So, and here's the thing about Ty. Y'all were joking about him running against LSU or whatever. I assume he has some mobility, maybe Carson Beck level mobility, maybe.
Yeah, like a Will Howard kind of in the championship game. So, and just real quick, Randy, the reason why I know this, when they were still in a competition with him and Milroe, Ty took every opportunity to run. I always had my theory that he was trying to show us he was mobile. He did it in A-Day games. He did it in, he's one that dropped the ball at the goal line in one of our little rinky-dink games. So Ty has been trying to show us he has enough mobility. So yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, so here's where y'all get to really help me, because he's not new. He's been on campus now 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
Right.
And he's had opportunities to win this job, and he couldn't. So assuming that he's the guy, which we all assume, you have to just remember he hasn't been able to beat out these other dudes, but now it's kind of his turn.
Yeah.
So that opens the door to, if it doesn't go well for him and they have to turn to another quarterback, you still are in the same boat, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't necessarily have to get hurt. It could just be that he doesn't go well and you choose to go to somebody else. But I ask about his mobility because Jalen Milroe against Georgia was white hot, like couldn't not succeed in that first quarter. And I had said it going into the game, tremendously dangerous, big concern, right? He was a Heisman candidate for how explosive he was, all the things. That is not Ty Simpson.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And when you give Georgia, even whatever version of Georgia you have this year, a quarterback and they know where he's going to be, then they manufacture ways to get after that guy. Yeah. Just look at Ewers, look at Manning. They're going to go get him. So when Alabama comes, if he's not a threat to run, then just expect you can put that in your back pocket. They're going to come find Simpson. Now, the question is, can he and the offense make plays in the face of that pressure, right? Can he handle the crowd noise, all that? I'm not saying that is going to, they're going to shut him down because of that. I'm just saying if they know where he's going to be, they're going to come and get him. And that's going to change the way Georgia plays defense against Alabama in Athens with the home crowd screaming at them and all that. So
yes,
if that's where you have to turn to a number two, or he gets hurt because he does run and something happens, we're just both in the same boat when it comes to quarterbacks. So as much of a contender as either of us are, I mean, it could literally go away just like that. So we all have to remember.
You're talking Austin Mack, Charmaine, but it's kind of like the glimpses we've had of Mack have not been good. And everybody's looking to Keelan Russell, but that's a freshman. So
we just don't know.
I agree. We just don't know.
Keelan's a freshman. So
I like freshman QBs not having to play.
I would expect to see Keelan game 2 when we play Louisiana Monroe and get some garbage time, and maybe I don't know how the Wisconsin game is going to go, but maybe he gets some garbage time in that one and just throughout the season. But I don't know if Keelan's necessarily ready to start right away. So we're keeping our fingers crossed with Ty Simpson and hope that goes well and he stays healthy.
Yep. I know this sounds like I'm outing myself. I don't know anything about Keelan Russell. I just don't. Yeah. I know he was like a highly recruited kid. We were never in the
SMU, and then they flipped him to here. So
we were never in that conversation. So I really don't. I don't know anything about him.
Oh no, that's fine, because that's full disclosure, Randy. That's me with a lot of prospects. If they weren't tied to Alabama, I'm like, what's the point? That kid could be at Alabama in 3 years, or he could be at.
I feel like
Washington.
He's got the rank. Obviously, the rankings and everything is what put him to the forefront. He's got the potential to be a great quarterback, but for me, it's just something I just have to see some stuff on the field first. I mean, obviously, we know how the spring games went this past summer, and based on that footage, and it wasn't necessarily a game. It was A-Day was A-Day, so we really didn't get to see too much from Keelan. So again, to my point, I like game 2 when he plays Louisiana Monroe. That's probably when I'll be able to get my first eyes on him to see what he can actually do. And then at that point, I don't know how much passing we're going to be doing because I don't know what the score is going to look like. So
dipping back into SEC Media Days talk, tell me what you think about Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, because coming into the week, I was tilting toward that thing of, yes, they lost a lot, but they know what they're doing down there and they factually feel pretty good. I talked to the Ole Miss guy, Steven, and he's like, I think we're going to fill it in pretty good. So he was telling me one thing, but just the vibe I got from other media types, and just the way Lane talked about it, he likes his team. I'm not concerned about that.
Right.
But I think I was higher on them coming into the week than leaving the week.
I think definitely an overlooked team for sure.
I think I have slid them back. I mean, what do y'all think?
Same. Our Ole Miss guy was not super high on Ole Miss for this next year. I think there's a lot of talk, kind of like what I said with Mizzou. Ole Miss's best shot was probably last year, and then they just laid an egg in a couple games to where you might have missed your chance. We're talking way more about the rest of the conference. So I think we looked at their schedule, and they're still a 10-2 team, but your margin for error. We saw Simmons. We're all basing all our love for Simmons on one drive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is, one more drive, and we're basing it on for Ty.
And I do think he's going to be a really good football player, Simmons.
Right. But all right. I do think last year was one of their best years. What you got?
No, I feel like for the same reasons Herb just said, it's just their roster overall, as far as their transfer portal needs and gets that they got last year, and then Jackson Dart being his last year, that was probably one of the best Ole Miss rosters we're going to see in a very, very long time. And with them not being able to make the playoffs last year, I just don't see it happening this year. I have them around 8-4, maybe 9-3 this year, but I don't see them making the playoffs. So.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move down to the back end of the conference here. Don't mean to drive the show here, Herb, but I do have questions about these teams. So, like a couple of other things that stood out to me. Mississippi State is replacing 80. Oh, motivated and dedicated. What's up? It's good to see you, brother. Happy to have you in here.
Is that a Georgia fan?
Yeah.
Who was talking to 3 to 4 losses for them?
Wait.
It might have been maybe not necessarily us, but maybe just in general. I have no idea. We haven't mentioned it, but maybe there's some people out there who thinks Georgia's going to lose 3 to 4 games.
Yeah, there you go.
I can't answer for him.
No, I can't see that.
I'm not sure.
I can't see that. I've said it consistently. I think if they had Kirby Smart and a group of 3rd and 4th.
Oh, he specified.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some other people.
It's always funny to be like, whenever people say stuff, my first thought is, well, when did I say that? So it's not just motivated.
I think it was just generally speaking. Other people have mentioned that. Let me say that I think that people kind of look at Georgia and Alabama in the same way. They want them. For example, when Nick Saban retired, people were like, "Oh, the dynasty's over. They're not going to win," and blah 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 blah, because that's what they want to happen. They look at Georgia the same way. Oh, Georgia's going to fall off because this is what other people have said. This Gunnar Stockton guy is not going to be good because this is what other people are saying. And I'm hoping and praying that he's not good because I don't want them to be good. Yeah. Things like that. That's really what it is.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of that. Like they just want you to trip.
And the reason that is because your team, the team that you may be cheering for, isn't necessarily going to be on the level of Alabama and Georgia at all. So
right,
Justin with the hot take.
So
like I said, our game by game predictions for the SEC is the second to last Tuesday in August. We've already got our group together. Me, Rodg, Mike, and Bama beat. So that's when we'll actually look at the Ole Miss. So that's a nice little take. Sorry, you're about to make a point though in there.
Yeah, I was going to talk about the back end of the conference. Like, do you guys realize that Mississippi State has to replace 80 players on their roster? 80.
Who stayed? The water boy and the kicker?
That is insane. Yeah. Blake Shapen is back for year 2. I think they have a wide receiver who's back. The running back is back. But that number is insane. And I only say that to point out that you look at a Vanderbilt and the projected order of finish, and they're not at the bottom. Right? It's because of that stuff going on at Mississippi State and what's going on at Kentucky. They're replacing like 50, so they needed it. They needed to do that at Kentucky. They had to do it at Mississippi State, but those numbers are insane. And the poor man's Travis Hunter and Marcel Height at Vanderbilt this year is going to, pop on to some screens. So there's stuff at the back half of the conference that I don't think people talk about enough. Right. And those are just 3 points, right? I mean, everybody's like Stoops should be fired and so on and so forth, or Mississippi State guy should be on the hot seat. He's trying to like literally build that thing with sand and water, like.
It's it's hard to get people to go to Mississippi State,
Well, I mean, Stoops in a wonderful moment of television live on SEC Network. He just looked straight at the camera and said, "This
So how about
hard."
we talking
I hit
dogs?
the wrong one.
That's what I told him.
I hit my wrong sound drop. He goes, "This is hard, man. That's like live on TV."
Yes.
And it is. And but he owned up to it.
Right here. Yeah.
So kudos to him.
Yeah, but how
it's a mess, in some of these parts around the league here.
Yeah.
So and Auburn, I don't know what to make of Auburn, honestly.
Yeah.
This week, I have said they're going to lose in my own head. I've said they're probably going to lose 5 to 7 games.
No offense, Charmaine.
No,
sorry,
Charmaine. I've gone from Auburn losing 5 to 7 games in my head, than beating Georgia this week. So
no, I'm not ready to go.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't know what to make of them. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all
and
I'm
you
saying.
go look at predictions, and even Kyle from the E2C network. I mean, of course, you and Kyle got together. He was kind of
shout out to Kyle.
There were several games in there he wasn't sure. I don't think a lot of people know what they're getting from Jackson Arnold. To be honest, the Oklahoma folks, or even the nicest Oklahoma folks, are like, all the problems in Oklahoma weren't all his fault, but at the same time, and the weapons are there. Cole Cubitt gave him the number 1 wide receiver group in the SEC. So
yeah,
you've got the stuff, but they didn't have wide receiver problems last year. I didn't think it was.
I don't care for Auburn. He doesn't care for Auburn.
Yeah,
we definitely have to get our sound budget increased a little bit.
Well, if somebody wouldn't spend all of our budget on vacations, we would have some money for sound.
Yeah. Look in the mirror and say that, man. I mean, you're giving me $2
to the man in the mirror.
You're giving me $2 a month. I can't even buy a box of tissues with that crap,
baby.
Oh me! I'm just taking over. I'm sorry, fellas. You told me to bring a drink.
A good time.
I'm sitting here. I'm keeping it. At least I'm keeping it PG. The soundboard's full of all kinds of stuff that I could be breaking out. So
see, I'm telling you, Justin, we need those sound effects. There goes my salary.
I'm sorry, Raj. I'm sorry. Okay. All right, look. Good SEC Media Day stuff. I know we're kind of running up to the top of the hour. Raj's gonna have to go. We had a segment planned for him, so we have to let him get in there in case he does need to dip out. So
let's do it.
But Raj, I have a curveball for you.
Okay.
Because we have a guest, and I was very diligent in this last few minutes.
Oh,
we're gonna give our guest some play as well.
All right,
centered around yours too as well. So, what do you like better? Well, you said Marino was your favorite, right?
Yes. My favorite Georgia play in the history of Georgia plays. Yes.
Marino up over the top. Did he break the plane? Yes. Georgia touchdown. And here comes the entire team. Watch this for excessive celebration. We may have 15 hankies in the air on this one. I can't believe this.
This was planned. This was absolutely planned. Mark Richt decided that he is going to try to fire his team up. He's tired of Florida having the psychological advantage. He's willing to give up the penalty.
Mm-hmm.
So the segment is Rodg's top 5 Alabama plays, but I had to show our guests some love. Set the scene for us, Randy, and why this is your favorite Georgia play of all time. Okay.
Well, let me start at the beginning. Let me just get this off my chest because I'm going to do it on my channel.
You just cut Rodg's salary, and I don't have a salary. So Justin gave my salary to a Mountain Dew budget for one of our stars, and he cut Rodg's salary. So yes, the Kentucky Football Nation thought that was cool.
There we go.
So.
I appreciate. See now, this is what I'm just okay. Quick aside.
They make me nice.
The Kentucky Football Nation channel left me a comment on my SEC Media Days coverage this week, and that's why I wanted to do those segments,
right?
Because it's a Georgia channel. We're going to talk about the dogs, right, in every perspective, but touching on the other things. I thought it was really cool that they dropped in, left me a comment, a little feedback on the Kentucky segment there. And my guest fell through. My guest fell through on the Kentucky stuff at the last minute. So I was trying to kind of navigate that part myself. But I was happy, that there were some other fan bases who were rolling through and checking it out too. So that's pretty cool. So let's just get this out of the way off the top because it's one of those things where
hey, Charmaine.
There is
wow.
There is no team that I hate with a fiery passion in my chest more than the Florida Gators. So on the record, let me just say Florida. Okay. So let's do that. Now, that game was awesome because again, I was a Spurrier baby, right? Like I grew up, I was in college when Spurrier was whipping my dogs, and we had just not been able to really get a good foothold. And then in 2007, we rolled down there and we had a couple of disappointing losses. And I just had a feeling that day, sure enough, the boys showed up, and that drive, they ran the ball every play of that drive, and they were ripping off 8-10 yards of carry all the way down the field, making a statement all the way. And then to finish it that way with a classic over-the-top touchdown, a la Herschel Walker, a la Tim Worley, a la Robert Edwards, and for Noshawn to go up and over and score that touchdown, and then to have the team come out, man, that just, I was screaming and yelling. I've told y'all I'm not a loud viewer. That day I was, because I was imbibing and I was feeling it, man. And I was telling Florida, I was telling Florida what for that day. Right. So that is why that's number one. I could go on and on. There's, tremendous plays over the course of the history of Georgia football, but that one to me personally was the best.
I like it. So.
Fired up. Getting fired up.
All right, we got to make some switches because we've had an accident here. All right.
Wow.
Live happens live, everybody.
Live happens live, baby. So it's a great hate. Yeah. Justin said that's how he feels about Tennessee. I don't know if you saw that one come up there. So
I did.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I told you, Herb. I gave you a compliment on the shirt and the hat. I was like, that's a nice.
Yeah, the first compliment I've gotten from you this year. I should have framed it or something. So.
That's probably the third.
Y'all like my new gear? Yeah. Well,
I already said I like the hat. So yeah, Randy.
What team is that, Randy? What is that?
Charmaine, we'll save that question till the end of his segment. I think we still have one Jeremy question, and now Charmaine has a question for you. We'll save that to the end. So
okay.
Oh, and Justin has a question that I've saved too. So let's get through Rodg's segment first, and then we will get to those questions. So we're definitely paying attention, everybody. So Rodg,
come on, Rodg.
I'm just gonna start with one. Randy, I apologize for the order of this. It's weird because, and one other reason why I wanted to give Randy one, because there's two like Georgia plays in Rodg's top 5. So I was like, I don't want to insult our guest.
Nope.
So,
this was prior to me knowing that Randy was going to be on the
he
show.
definitely picked him before he knew Randy was coming on.
I wouldn't want you to change it though. Bring it on. You got to deliver now.
Yeah. All right, Rodg, you ready? Here's your first one.
Where are we at?
Oh yeah.
We know this was Jalen Hurts. Tua got hurt in this SEC championship game, 2018, I believe, and then Jalen Hurts came in, kind of saved the day, redeemed himself. Just this play right here, and then what Jalen did for the University of Alabama through his couple of years there was just so much. And this is another reason why I think a lot of people from the University of Alabama and just in the SEC in general just have so much love for Jalen Hurts. You can't say anything really negative about him. Obviously, he went on to OU for his final year to kind of build up his resume. Went on to the NFL, won the Super Bowl last year. Kudos to Jalen Hurts. But that play just kind of defined his legacy at the University of Alabama and what type of young man he was. And we will always be forever grateful for what Jalen Hurts did for Bama at the capstone.
One of the few, and Randy, remind me, even if Rodg has to go, if you're sticking around, I've got a transfer portal question for you. But Jalen Hurts to me was one of the guys who used it the best.
Yep.
And I think he's deserved everything. Yes, Enrique. He's a class act. I think he's deserved everything that's come to him. Sorry, this one first. Yes. I agree. Usually when you say, hey, you deserve everything that's coming to you, that's a bad thing.
Uh-huh.
I mean it in a positive light for Jalen.
It couldn't have happened to a better guy. Yeah.
Charmaine, absolutely. Go ahead, Randy.
When he transferred out to Oklahoma, I was still like so unsure about what the transfer portal was at that time. I'm like, this is weird. Why is he going out there? I don't understand. So that's what I took away from that. And to your point, I thought it worked out great. That's how you're supposed to use it.
Yes,
exactly.
It was great. Yeah.
Look, I got one more year of eligibility. Let me go somewhere where I can start right away. Show him I'm a great offensive player, get drafted and move, and it worked out perfectly for him.
Mm-hmm.
Just won the Super Bowl last year.
Next one for Rodg.
Yeah. Oh, 2015 championship game, second half. Is it? Oh, yeah. Kickoff. We're up 31-27, obviously. I just remember how I felt after this play happened. I'm not going to lead into it, but Kenyon Drake with the kickoff return against Clemson. I mean, right here, I thought he was going to get tackled. Once he missed that tackle, I said, there's no way he's going to make it. And then once he does the Superman dive at the end, I was going absolutely bonkers in the house. This was prior to us having kids, so I was able to scream and go crazy. And I was going absolutely nuts. I felt like that run back, that kickoff return gave us the final momentum we needed to kind of win that game and win the national championship. So
my thought on it was different. I remember before that play, my thought was, okay, we just need a long, 7 minutes left, and we're already up before we get it. We just need a long drive.
Yep.
We need a sustained drive. Let's take 4 or 5 minutes off the clock. That was my thought. And then that happened. I was like, I mean, I guess, or that.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I was thinking long drive. So,
yeah.
A couple more comments on the Jalen Hurts part. Yes. No, I agree. And, there was something we didn't have time to talk about tonight, but they released their top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL, and Hurts is not on it. And even like Jaden Daniels, who's been in the league 1 year, is at 5. And I'm just like, man just won a Super Bowl, and in 2 Super Bowls outplayed Patrick Mahomes, but he's never going to get respect. Go ahead, Randy. What you got?
Throw what I'm about to say out the window because I'm not following the NFL that closely, but I'm just telling you, as good as Washington was last year and Jaden Daniels had such a great season, that is a team that's going to go backwards this year. So when y'all are doing your preseason stuff, I'm just calling it.
I'm sorry.
I'm just calling it now. Don't put your horses behind the Commanders. I just don't think it's going to go the way it went last year for them.
No.
They played a lot of teams last year that weren't that good, and a lot of things happened. I just don't think they're a team that's going to be competing for the playoffs this year.
Yep.
Justin Fields, I did.
And regarding the NFL, let me give Randy some kudos right quick. When we play fantasy football, last year we did fantasy football. Herb was our commissioner. Herb somehow surprisingly won the whole league as the commissioner. I will say this. As my tight end pick this year, if I get the option, I am picking Brock Bowers as my tight end, definitely.
I think Brock Bowers is our favorite Georgia Bulldog of all time. The show's favorite.
By far.
Listen, I know Alabama has a lot of superstars, long history. I don't know exactly who has statues outside your stadium. I know Saban does, but
I agree with you, Enrique.
There is a huge argument in Georgia Nation, and it's not well defined enough for me to be able to tell it to you, but everybody's like, well, Dooley has one, and now when you look at that, you're like, wait, why? And you have to think about it, why he actually has one. But then who should have one next? Yeah. Is it Brock? Is it Stetson? Is it somebody else? Like who, if anybody? Is it Kirby? Kirby, is he going to have one someday? Probably.
Yeah.
So,
but people argue over this all the time.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. They argue over it all the time.
Herschel, Bailey. See, I didn't really watch those players. So whenever we talk about favorite players, honestly, a lot of our fandom stopped, really kind of started Saban era just because we were kind of more in tune with everybody then. Rodg and I got here in 94, so we started following college sports then. But Saban era stuff kind of heightened it, and then the internet age, of course. So that's why Brock Bowers will be a favorite of ours.
Yep.
But dude, if you had picked, well, I don't know if you would have had a certain play against Auburn, but I feel like the Auburn game, I guess now it's 2 years ago, was like the pinnacle of like, you just don't see that from tight ends. But a guy saying, hey, I got you. And let me finish it real quick. One more point. Mm-hmm. The fact that he had the season he just had in the NFL with the equivalent of me and Rodg throwing to him all year.
Yes. And remember, I'm a Raiders fan. So
right.
I tried
saw it. Yeah.
I tried to tell all those crazy Raider people, I'm like, y'all just need to shut up and trust me on this one. Okay.
And he's got Geno Smith this year, right?
Yeah, this year he does.
Which is like 1,000 times upgrade over.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, y'all need to just hush and let Brock go do what Brock does because it is a different world. So, yeah, I don't know. I forgot
what Casey.
Oh, I was going to ask you who, if y'all had to choose, if you're picking between Brock Bowers and Stetson Bennett to get a statue, who are you choosing? Say we give Herschel one. He doesn't even have one. See, Herschel doesn't have one. But say he does.
Stetson as a walk-on to win, that's tough to overcome. So it's like
quite. Yeah,
Brock Bowers is my pick because I love him as a
right.
player. But how do you ignore the Stetson Bennett story?
Right. And when people look at the two national championships, they're going to look at the quarterback and say, which quarterback led them on those two teams?
Right,
and it's going to be Stetson Bennett. To
Yep.
Herb's point, Brock Bowers is my favorite player, but Stetson was the leader of those two teams. So it's kind of like, to answer that question, I would lean more towards Stetson.
Yeah, I would think so.
Quick reminder, Georgia won back-to-back national championships with a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay? Backup. You got to remember, he wasn't the starter in 21.
Yeah.
You know, the coaches tried to run him out of Athens.
I feel like he will figure it out. He'll get the defense in order, and he'll figure it out. There's another super chat for you from KC.
Told you, man. KC, appreciate you, brother. Let me get you some.
KC,
let me get you some stuff on here.
You good people, KC. Appreciate you supporting us.
He is appreciate you for joining us, man.
I know. I love it when. That's the thing. Listen, this is fun. Okay, it is fun to come chat with you guys. It's fun to talk college football. But when people are willing to support what you're doing, it just means so much. Any thoughts I might ever have about I don't want to do it today, I think about, well, maybe they're going to watch and maybe they want to talk Georgia tonight. So let's do it, you know? And it just as an aside, all of you watching, please, whether it's my channel, Herb and Rod's channel, whatever, make sure that if you actually want to know when we're doing what we're doing, don't forget to obviously subscribe to the channel, but hit that notification bell, because the way YouTube is pushing content these days, there's no guarantee that you're going to know what we're doing if you don't have that on. So you need to make sure that if you enjoy it and you don't want to miss it, make sure you turn that on. So sometimes you have to double check. You think you did, but you didn't. And so just double check.
I do that all the time because there's shows I miss and I go, why didn't I get that?
But,
Hey, Randy, you know I got your notifications, so I'm still going to go. So.
Look
at Enrique.
Enrique, thank you. We appreciate that.
I appreciate it. We've always had fun. We always have fun with Randy on here. And thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
Justin's joining us in 2 weeks, so I'm interested to see his alcohol choice. So, all right, Rodg, I know we got it. You're getting close because Rodg has family at home, so let's go ahead and get through his last. Where was I at? We just did Hurts and Drake, right? All right, this is a fun one.
4th and 12.
Which one's next? Tyron Prothro. This is 2005. This is probably one of my most favorite catches.
And remember,
in the history of the University of Alabama.
Replays.
This is caught off the guys back in Southern Miss.
Falk has great coverage.
Justin, is 05 or 06. I think it was 05.
He catches off his back and holds on to the football.
I still couldn't believe he caught it. I thought it hit the ground. Even back then in 05, if it hit the ground, they would have called it a catch. Nowadays, they review it about 800 times until it's called a catch. But I thought that was awesome.
And fun fact, like they're telling touchdown in the thing, it actually ruled him down at like the 1 or 2, whatever.
Yeah. But
yes.
And that was just an awesome catch. Hate to see what happened with Prothro as far as the injury. Limited his career and ended his career. But one of my favorite receivers in the history of the University of Alabama.
Appreciate it.
Shout out to Prothro, man. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Fun fact on that too. I can tell you exactly where.
Charmaine, are you saying that because he left him in too long against Florida? Go ahead, Randy.
I can tell you exactly where I was when the first time I saw that catch. I was sitting in a rum boogie in Memphis, Tennessee, at the intersection of Highway 61. Because I looked at that and I was like, Alice, look at that catch. So I know exactly where I was. I'm like, that's a pretty damn good catch right there. Yeah. So there you go.
That was amazing. So, I'm sorry. Oh, she said yes for that. Thank you, Charmaine. Brody Prothro. Brody was so.
Hey man, tell Prothro. Justin, tell Prothro we want to have him on. We can talk about the catch, man. We'll figure it out. We'll call the SBs.
Yeah, do you know Prothro married a softball star, Stephanie Van Brinkel? So I don't even know if you know that name, but that Rodg gave me that look like random trivia. I don't know.
Random. All right, congrats to their matrimony.
Yes. Rip Van Winkle. What?
I didn't know that, Herb.
All right, Rodg, here we go.
Yep.
This will be a fun one.
Okay. Let's see which one's next.
That's all it is. There's a lot
Gravedigger, 4th and 31.
To cover for Milroe.
I mean, let's be honest. I thought we lost this game.
Near corner.
I still have absolutely no
touchdown, Alabama.
How the defender
Isaiah Bond.
It's not like Isaiah Bond is like 6'8". Okay,
we always keep thinking we've seen it all.
The ball was in the air for about 10 minutes. If you're the DB, you have enough time to look at the ball and say, "Hey, I can swat this out the air." Thank God he didn't do that.
Unbelievable.
Auburn.
He just used his back.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So
my what was it? My favorite part about this play is when you describe it this day. There's like one or two ways you describe it. One, remember when Jalen Milroe dropped back and threw the ball 31 yards to himself? Or remember when Jalen Milroe dropped back and threw the ball to insert Bama receiver who actually left Bama while they were still playing for Bama? So Waddle comes into mind, or no one says he threw it to Bond anymore. It's always,
I will say this:
insert random player here.
My reaction to that catch was really, really odd because I didn't jump up and get excited because I didn't believe it. When I saw it, I was like, hold on, there's no way he caught that. How did that happen?
See, y'all are Alabama people, so y'all are like, yeah, Alabama. I'm sitting over here, and I hate Auburn, okay?
Yeah.
But I'm sitting over here going, Auburn, of course, that's what you did. Like, they were dancing, the rush to the three and just dance for 5, 6. I was like, oh, y'all are awful. This is awful. Everything about this is awful. And so, congrats to Alabama. And that should be. I'm surprised it's not number one, but I know why it's not.
You know what number one is?
Sorry.
Sorry.
And that's why, Randy, I was texting like, give me some plays for you, Randy, because I don't want this to be like a anti-segment. But number one is the greatest play. Here we'll get the other comments in here real quick. I didn't know Prothrow was pregnant, or is Brent Van Brinkle having the baby?
Oh.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, Prothrow's not pregnant, but maybe his wife is. Yeah.
Okay. Bond sold out for 11. Now.
Is he being
serious?
Had
others, huh?
Is he being serious?
I doubt it.
I don't know.
I hope not, but that would be funny. So, yeah, wow. Sound part. Yeah, I agree.
Auburn.
we got it. We got to get us a sound.
Yeah, we definitely got to get that. We got to work on our sound game. So, and that's for you there, Randy. Teresa, appreciate you joining in.
What's up, Teresa?
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, Charmaine, if you do a deep dive into this play and watch like the 2 or 3 plays
that should not have happened.
You just see a whole lot of stupidity. So, oh, wow. I'm being dead serious, Mark. Oh, my goodness. Now, look, I realize that there are other stuff that happened for Bond, that caused him to not get drafted. But if you ever just want to see a career just go off the rails, it's been like every decision he's made,
Y'all know my history. I am more than a quarter century covering college football, right? Like as a professional, you know what I mean? Yeah. And anytime anybody wants to talk to me about being paid for an interview, I am like, you just get on out to Hollywood. You go on. That ain't how this works.
Right.
I don't care if it's me or if it's you guys or if it's the Bama Standard or whoever. That's their space. They're gonna pay you to come on the thing. You're out your damn mind. That ain't how it works.
Publicity.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So unless you're guaranteeing me the greatest interview of all time, like I'm good. Casey, to be fair, there was other stuff that happened, but I'll also just say, hey, you left us, so I'm not invested in your career. So I don't, and you left us strictly for the money part. It wasn't like I want to improve this or do whatever. You left us for that. You didn't have a great season. I know that people are going to say, "Oh, he was injured." Well, you didn't have a great season. You didn't leave us for the reasons you said you were leaving. Oh, I want a better quarterback. I want this situation. You didn't have that season. So,
that's right.
Whatever. I don't care.
I guess Bond was shaken and not stirred.
That's usually my joke that makes Rodg go, oh my God. He knows that was a terrible. So to commit so who the hell does he think he I agree, man. But but you can just tell in his whole career arc that's what he was going after, and that kind of what he deserves. So
don't let the door hit you. That's what that is.
Exactly. Yep. Charmaine, too soon. I'm not ready to talk about it. I'm not ready to talk about it. All right, the number one has to be the number one. To me, it's the greatest. We
know what the number one play
is in Alabama.
I'm not gonna go into too much details about this, but it is what it is. It happened in.
I'm gonna tell my story.
Try to make up for it. Fire to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins.
My favorite part of this clip, by the way, is right here. Cameraman, boom. best hit on that play. So.
I still don't know what our safety was doing.
Yeah.
Still not sure what he was doing.
And a lot of people pointed that out, like, what just happened there?
Well, the weird thing was when you're watching it on TV, you couldn't see Devontae Smith open. You could just see the QB and, see Tua back there throwing the ball. So once he threw the ball, I was like, what's going on? And then the screen kind of panned out. I'm like, oh, he's open. And how did he get that wide open? So, and not to mention the play
there before we get to.
And not to mention the play previous to that, obviously we got sacked and lost the 16 yards. So
KC, the segment was Rodg's top 5 Alabama plays. We Randy kind of got added to the show, at a late moment. So we added in the Georgia play. We're going to give him some more shine on the Georgia play, but that's why it is. Which, by the way, Randy, I was on the phone with Justin while I'm talking to you, and I was, oh, hey, Randy's going to be on the show. We're doing it. Justin goes, I want to be on the show. I said, Justin, our Saturday night show is loose. Like, anybody that says they want to come on, we let them come on. Like, we don't, there's no, you see the structure. The structure's in quotes, like, come on, we'll bring you on. So Randy's not the latest person to text us. Again, we had somebody when the show started post in the comments, and we added it to the show. The Saturday show, if you're somebody who's out there that has a show or does whatever, has a desire to be on there, and you want to join our Saturday show, bring it on.
I said I could sit here and work.
Right.
I said I could do that. But I don't feel like it. I feel like talking. So I'm going to text her and just see if I can come talk. I totally crashed this whole thing.
And these dudes are nice enough. One of our best shows. Randy.
I hadn't even talked about
with you always is.
We hadn't even talked about Georgia. Not a word, about the season. So I came on I'm thankful to be here. You know what I mean?
And we're thankful for you, man. So
we appreciate you, man.
Enrique, I like you, so we definitely weren't trying to hurt you. Just so people know, this segment was planned before Randy was coming.
Yes, this was
this definitely wasn't. So here's my story about that play. All right, I have learned in my later years that I really get really bad anxiety watching these plays. Okay, Georgia has just kicked a field goal. Right. And I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be a drive or some sort. I decide we're in our apartment. I'm going to take out the trash and I'm going to take it over to the dumpster. So I'm on the phone with Rodg as we start this drive, and I'm taking the trash, out. As I'm walking back, Rodg says to me the worst words I've ever heard. Do you remember exactly what you said to me, Rodg?
No, I don't.
The worst thing that could happen just happened.
Did you see?
I'm thinking the game's over. I'm like, oh God, the worst thing. I'm like, what do you mean? What happened? He's like, Tua just took a sack. So first off, to Rodg, that's not the worst thing that could happen as the drive starts. Interception, fumble, those are the worst things. So you totally lied to me about that, right? Okay. So I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, all right. So here we go. It's like, we lost like 11 yards, So I was like, okay. So I'm walking back up into the room. I hear cheers from somewhere in the apartment complex. I don't know what they are, though. And in the age of streaming, it's different, blah, blah, whatever, right? Next thing I know, Rodg is yelling, yeah! I'm sprinting back into the house, pull my hamstring and starts hurting, because I'm old, okay? Get in, and I just see it, right? I stayed up till 2:00 that morning. I watched that thing in Spanish. I watched it in Russian. I watched, the command center one. Gundy had the worst reaction of all time to the play. Everybody else is jumping around doing stuff. This is Gundy's reaction to the play from Oklahoma State. He goes, I was like, dang, is he watching the play? Like, that man was like, I'm paid to be here and I don't care. So it's the greatest play in Alabama history. Randy, because I love you, man, I hate that it's against Georgia and that you had to be on this show, but
I knew what I was signing up for. It's all good. It's like every time I talk to Auburn people, like I have to live with the fact that the prayer at Jordan Hare happened. Somehow that happened. And then, of course,
Justin, I was.
Then, of course, they followed it up. Wasn't that the same year that they then followed it up with a kick six against Bama?
That wasn't
it the same year?
I don't know. Was it?
Said what you said? What was the
Prayer Jordan Hare? Wasn't that the same year as
I
the
don't
Kick
know.
Six?
You know, I put that game out of my mind. You know, I'm hoping Gravedigger puts that game to rest. So
I could be wrong on that.
yeah,
But
I remember
way,
watching that game and just walking away. So
either way, I have to live with it, and I'm just like, that is unbelievable. A kid that played at Georgia.
Oh no, Justin said it was the same year.
Yeah, 2013.
It was not.
Yeah.
So, the Alabama guy said yes. The Georgia guy said no. And then another
2013.
Guy,
2013. Yeah.
So.
Again, a kid that played at Georgia throws the ball into triple coverage and it bounces off of somebody's helmet.
Yes.
And then it just falls in front of his face. Like, there's no doubt why.
Auburn sucks. I don't care for Auburn. He doesn't care for Auburn.
It stinks, man. And so we've got the whatever that is for you guys, 2-26 or whatever it was. And then the flip side of that, Rodg is like, that's the worst thing that could have ever happened. We get the sack, and I'm like, that's a freshman. They sack him. I'm like, we are about to do that again. You know, like we are going to go get him. This is Georgia's about to win the thing. And then that happened. So we did the exact, you know, I was super high. And then to have it flip that way was crazy. And wasn't that also the game where Tyler Simmons was absolutely onside, and when we blocked the punt and he was called for being offside?
Honestly, my memory of that game is terrible first half. Tua was supposed to be the savior, but threw an interception on his first play. So I remember a lot of highlights more than I remember. My memory is not as sharp. So maybe so.
It doesn't matter. The point is, hell of a game. And I was so happy.
You know what? So you know what I push back on? That game is considered one of the best plays in Alabama history.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're an Alabama fan, that is not one of the best. That's one of the worst games in Alabama history. First half ends what?
That second half. The second half and overtime was good, but everything before
second half was okay. But Tua threw an interception on his first drive, I believe, in the second half. So it still wasn't like he just came out and set the world on fire. It was just a game. That play is one of the greatest play, if not to me, it's the greatest play for Alabama. Period, because you ended and you won a championship on it. But the rest of the game was just now. If you like defense, obviously, but I'm an offensive guy, so I was like, So.
Yeah, I can see
Fun
that.
fact for this: when I was searching for this game, I typed in the Spanish version because that's what I wanted to find, but I kept coming up with other stuff because it was
those radio calls are great.
Right, it was just amazing. So, and they were back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Raj Charmaine has a question for you.
That Ryan Williams catch was last year. That was more of like an honorable mention. I was trying to do a deep dive and thinking about some of the other plays that happened. Some of these have national playoff championship game implications, playoff implications, so forth and so on. It was up there along with Mount Cody's the Mount Cody play.
You know what? I'm sorry. That's a question. That was a question. And I know you got to get out here in a minute, Raj.
Yeah, Mount Cody blocking Tennessee's game-winning field goal kick.
This was a Kyle question. Which one?
Yeah, that was another honorable mention. But these were just the when you heard propose the question to me, these were the first 4 or 5 that just came to mind just right off the top of my head, and I said I'm sticking with those.
Which, by the way, the only one of these 3 that I was in the room for was 4th and 31. Mount Cody block, I was standing out front in there just screaming like, why are we losing to Tennessee? And 2nd and 26, I was on the phone with Rodg. 4th and 31, I was on the couch in my spot, sitting there. So
in the chat, I think it was Teresa. She said, Ringo's pick 6 was her favorite play. I think there were a couple.
I just saw that too.
Who pointed that out, and those are absolutely that's a great play for Georgia. Period. End of discussion. But the game, the Oklahoma game,
which by the way I thought was going to be your favorite. That's what I thought I'd be looking for.
Ringo or Oklahoma?
Ringo.
Yeah, I knew that. That's why I was like, "You're wrong." Yeah, I knew. Totally not.
Raj, that's our actually. Hey, I know what your favorite. Randy said no. You're an idiot. I was like,
you're wrong.
I probably am.
But the game. Think about the Oklahoma game that got us to Atlanta to play Alabama. Think about what had to happen in that game for Georgia to even get there. Like the cinema that was that game in the Rose Bowl was incredible. And then I thought we were still going to lose it right up at the very end, except for Lorenzo Carter hung in the air like levitated and blocked a field goal, right, to put them in position to win the thing. when Sony gets loose. So that game in and of itself, that's probably the greatest Georgia game ever.
And that it's hard to separate for some people. Like Rodg, the Kenyon Drake game was probably one of the better games.
The
Tua play would be one of the better plays. And you have a lot of I didn't realize we missed so much in here. So the prayer and the kick were exactly a week apart. That's crazy.
That was insane.
Yeah. This is why it's weird for me to say going to Auburn and going to Georgia I have on the same level for this next year.
Yeah.
But this is why. Plus a 5-game winning streak.
Yeah.
And the end of the year. Like the thing about Georgia, if you lose that game, it's the 4th game of the year. You know what I mean? It's in the grand scheme of things, you can recover from it.
You can recover from that.
But you could be, 9-2 going into the Auburn game and a playoff berth on the line. And they've spent 2 weeks. We've seen it. 2 weeks game planning for you. So it could be crazy.
I take this even a step further, and I always tell our friend Kyle.
So
I always tell our friend Kyle from E2C, not only is it an Indian burial ground, but there are UFOs right beneath the 50-yard line. Like they've buried the spaceships right beneath the 50-yard line.
I believe it. Because the worst Auburn teams can compete with the best Alabama and Georgia teams at home.
Dude,
it is wild.
I have the blessing of having Larry Munson as our past play caller. I think about the hobnail boot. I think about, oh my God, I just broke a steel chair, 1980 Florida with Lindsey Scott. I think about winning at Auburn to Michael Johnson, David Green to Michael Johnson in 2002 to give Georgia the first SEC championship in a lot of years. There are so many great plays that it was really, really hard. So for me, I could just be like, the Ringo play. But I'm like, that's everybody's favorite play. Right. For me, that's why I picked the one I picked was I made it personal.
Oh, that's iconic. That's iconic.
Yeah.
So
Charmaine, after that first half, it just had to happen. It's not the Jalen that we know now. It was different. I miss Carol also, but this was kind of unplanned too. So but Carol's one of our favorites, so definitely so.
Yeah, nobody knew I was coming over here. Like I said, I kind of just kicked the door down. So
but we love it, Randy. So there was no hesitation, right? It was like, come on, I've already sent you the link. I sent Randy the link before I asked him questions about what was going on. So the answer was yes, and then hey, here's the questions.
It was on my end, it was like 8:35. I'm still like, where's the link? It was here, but I was like, I gotta log in and do the thing. I was late, but yeah, like. I kind of just kicked it in, so there you go.
Yeah. We love it. So
I'm free most of the time these days. So
I agree with that, Mike. So let's get through the rest of the comments and let Rodg get on out of here. So,
Rodg, thanks for hanging out, man. High five.
Hey, I appreciate you guys, man.
Rodg has twins and his mom at the house, so he's really just kicking on. So
twins turn 2 tomorrow.
Casey, good moment for sure.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
It's funny because they were born on 7/20 at 7/20 and 7/21. So I will always remember that. A week early, a week and 2 days early. So I was on vacation when I got the call like, hey, she's having high blood pressure. They might have to come early this weekend. Yeah. Hey, they're coming right now.
A funny note, you say they were born on 7/20 at 7/20, right?
Yes.
And 7/21, yes, sir.
My oldest, our first, was born at 3:20. She was born at 3:20 a.m. and her mother's birthday is 3:20. So we also have a fun number thing right there.
That's easy to remember.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
To Charmaine, yes, it was. Yes, agreed. So I said the first blackout against Auburn. Yeah, Jeremy, if you had said that to me, I would have got a clip for you. So
Rodg,
I know you got to go. There was only do you need to jump out before? There's only one question that involved you, Rodg, and then I've got two for Randy, and we'll get out of here. Okay,
where's it at?
Castellanos also said that Rodg was the better rag.
He was right about that. He was right about that.
No, he was just talking trash. Herb is the better. Look. Rodg is the better looking. Rodg has twins, and Rodg is mom's favorite. You have to give Herb one title. Herb is the better rags though, because Rodg is winning everything else. Okay. This was one actually from Jeremy. I don't know if Jeremy's. Oh, I just saw Jeremy. This was for you specifically. No, I'm sorry. I skipped the Randy one. Who should be under pressure week 1 between Texas and Ohio State?
Texas.
I would say Texas.
Who should
Texas.
be?
Yeah.
Notice how it's worded. Should be under more pressure?
Texas.
I would say Texas because Arch, because
they think Arch
Ohio
Manning's
State
a
just
great-
won a championship. That gives you, well, it used to give you 2 to 3 years of grace. Now it gives you like half a season. But Texas, I say Texas.
My knee jerk is Texas for the same reason. They're not being fair to Arch and they're expecting too much. But my thing is, though, I know enough Big Ten folk who they're going to look at that and absolutely see that as a referendum. You are the national champion carrying the banner for the Big Ten. You absolutely cannot lose to an SEC school. So the pressure up there will be high. But I'm with you. I think it's probably Texas.
Yeah. Here was a Jeremy one I missed. I was thinking about. Can Georgia Tech win the ACC? I say no off the jump.
No, I think Clemson's going to take that.
I think Clemson's the preseason favorite. I
right
honestly,
now.
Jeremy,
by the way, I looked it up for you. I looked it up. Period. Odds right now has Georgia Tech at 5th. Clemson, Miami, Louisville, SMU in that order before them.
Yeah, I would say that might be a stretch. Now that's a different question than asking me if I think Georgia Tech can beat Georgia this year.
Right.
So,
but it's different when you're on top. Everyone saves their best stuff for you, and a rivalry game. That's totally different. I agree. With that.
Don't get us into the 8-9 conversation. I had a whole thing with Mrs. Beast, Alice, and I was explaining to her the 8-9 conversation inside the SEC, how we've been talking about it for years now, and I laid it out bullet point form. And at first she was like, answer. And then I was like, well, consider. And I gave her a couple of other reasons. And she was like, I see why this is a difficult thing. So it's if we could do a whole show on 8-9, I just wanted you to know that we talk all kinds of SEC football in this house, all the way down to schedules.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Last question that I saved from earlier. This is specifically for you, Randy, I would think.
The most frustrating coach in Georgia history. History's the question there. He's the most frustrating coach of my lifetime, because with Dooley, I knew, with Goff, I kind of knew, like, we're just not good enough, And then we got to Coach Donnan, which was when I was in college, and you had a big hope, but at the end of the day, still just we weren't good enough. And then Coach Richt got there and changed all that, and then you thought you were good enough. And every few years they were, but inevitably he was going to lose a game for some reason that they should never lose. So in my lifetime, he is absolutely the most frustrating Georgia head coach. History, I don't know. I honestly think you might be able to look at Dooley over the course of his entire career and maybe make that argument for him. But I would say Mark would probably be 1A. And that is in no way a shot at him. It's just the reality based on your question.
Yeah.
It's Enrique with it.
Yep. I have a wonderful Mark Richt story. I've told it a few times. I don't want to keep Rodg here, but and I'm not going to tell it now. But Mark is he's a great dude. And my story it's a great story, just about what a great dude he is, Okay. So and what he did for Georgia was awesome. Just awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was just getting over the hump, But otherwise,
I mean, all he did was average 10 wins a year in Athens. That's all he did.
Yep. Roger, this was for you. Hitting the twos.
Appreciate it, Teresa. Thank you so much. Yep.
And this is a good note to end on. We kind of didn't touch on the top 5 defense, but it was going to tie into the preseason SEC rank. So hard to have a top 5 defense and no defender on this preseason rank. So we'll probably get into that a little next week. Go ahead, Randy. What you got?
Nothing. I mean, if Rodg has to go, I understand. I'm good for whenever, but I'm with you. I don't see how. I do see how you can have a great defense and not a top flight defender.
Right.
But I think I can see how it would happen, but it was still odd to see that, Yeah. But I can understand if you look at it position by position, which is what they're asked to do. When they give us those things, they don't give you have to just focus in on the one thing. Right. And half the time you're looking up 2 or 3 of the options anyway, because maybe you don't know them when you're having to make that vote. So I can see how it would happen.
Right. Gotta recognize royalty.
Thank you, Carol.
Sorry, Carol. It's on the way out. Hope you go back and check. People were asking about you, so appreciate it.
Carol. I just jumped on board late. That's how it got down tonight.
It's all good. Randy, what you got going on this week? What's coming up?
Oh, we're live every Wednesday, so that's the primary thing. I do have a new venture. I'm doing twice the work now because I have a plus version of the podcast. That's a subscription-based version, but it's all new, all exclusive stuff. You can't get it unless you tap into that. So I'm working twice as hard. People tell me they want more content. I'm like,
we do.
Let's do it. But I gotta, I'm working that much harder. I gotta make it worth the time to do it. That's just the reality of it. So, but that's keeping me hopping most of the time. The rest of the time, we're going to be back in school here in a couple weeks. So I'm starting to think about that. We're squeezing in fun here at the end of the summer.
Yeah. I like it, Randy. I like it. Randy, I appreciate it, man. We always have a fun show when you're on. So,
listen, like I said, I'm free most of the time right now. So if y'all need me, want me, whatever, we'll hook up a weekly show. We can do whatever y'all want to do because I am flexible, right? That's not right. I'm very flexible right now. So
you know what's sad? Me and Rodg were both like, yeah. Okay.
I was about to pull up dictionary.com.
No.
Is that
I was like, that's not the right word. No, I am very flexible right now. So
thank you very much.
To all of your cohorts, right? If you need a Georgia voice or a college football voice and you like what I have to say, let me know. I'm happy to come chat with you.
We've been sending your name out to anybody, so always a great guest.
No, you guys are awesome about that. I think I've met more people through you guys than maybe anybody else, and I don't know why this is. And y'all, if you ask around, tell me. But
congrats, Carol, too, by the way.
Sorry, congrats.
Oh, absolutely, congratulations. The people in the Georgia bubble, I don't get a lot of invitations to come on their shows. And I've been thinking about that a lot. And I'm like, is it because of the way I do my show?
Yeah.
Like a solo person who's just talking about a thing. And so maybe they're like, that's not what I'm about. Or maybe they're just like, I don't know. They're doing their own thing and they're not focused on what I'm doing. But I don't go on a lot of Georgia shows, so I love to come and go on other shows. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
we appreciate it.
I don't know why, because we've always enjoyed it from the beginning. But Rodg and us also have sought out other voices from other shows. From the beginning. So it's always, we could fill this space with 1,000, Alabama voices, but you might just get the same thing. Hey, we're going this and we're doing that. It's fun to interact with other fan bases and see other views,
Absolutely. And no doubt I'm the same way. I don't get to watch a lot of Georgia content.
Doing their own thing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't get to watch a lot of stuff because I'm doing my thing. So I totally get it, so no ill will, no shade, no nothing like that. I just it just seems funky, that I end up on other shows.
Well, that just means we appreciate you. And thank you, Justin.
Appreciate you, man.
So like I said, Justin is. We talked to Justin. He might be on with us 2 weeks from now. And like I said, definitely connect you guys. I don't know if we already had, but Justin's a great guy, so we'll connect you guys too as well to make sure. It is, Carol, and that's why. I mean, look. At the end of the day, are we going to be rooting against each other for certain Saturdays? Yes, but for the rest of the time, man, we always wish Randy the best. And I hope Alabama beats Georgia on the field. But as far as the podcast and your personal life, man, we love you, man. We always appreciate you.
Dude, I told you guys the other night, right? The Alabama Georgia tickets went from like $420.
Yes, you did.
2 months ago. They're like $630 minimum right now. I looked at Alice today and I'm like, unless I'm working that game, like if something comes through and I'm working that game, that's how I'm getting into the stadium that day.
Yeah.
So Herb, if nothing else, man, I might just have to belly up to somebody's tailgate with you because
that's fine.
I'm
I'll be there.
like, I don't think I'm going to shell out that kind of money to get in there. And, that's just reality. I'm just not going to do it.
That's just tough. That's just tough. Kentucky, do us a favor. Go to the Herb and Rodg. I know you're probably on Randy's stream. Go over to ours and give us a like and give us a follow, man.
We appreciate you.
That. And somebody else wrote it because I have a quick story to tell. Somebody posted, and I'm sorry. Oh yeah, it would be amazing if not a bi-week show. So true story. One reason why we were not really planning on a Georgia preview is because we do so much stuff with them before the season. Before the Alabama Georgia game, we had 2 specials that we did, and so we were thinking, we're not going to do a Georgia preview because we cross paths with them so much. Yeah. Somebody dropped out. We needed a last minute person. Randy jumped in, and as always, it was one of our best shows. Of the year, the Georgia preview. So we do good stuff together. So we're trying to get together more, especially in the off season when everybody has time. So we appreciate it.
Yes, of course.
We will be on with Corey Burton of Locked on Vanderbilt this Tuesday.
Yep.
I had the hardest time trying to track down a Vanderbilt representative. I reached out to kind of everybody that I could find. And I was like, why can't I get you? Look, all right, hold on. Sorry. I reached off here. See, this is the cheat sheet right here. I'm going to show you a little something. You're going to be like, whatever, Randy. But this is the cheat sheet. Okay. Let's see. Let me hold it up here so you can see it. This is the Football Writers of America guide, which I'm a member. And so in there, they hook you up, right? You can get in touch with ADs, you can get in touch with beat writers, whoever, man, they got it in there. That's part of the perks of being the member. And I was just like, why can't I get any of you people to get back with me? Because I'm like, I don't know why it was so difficult to get a Vanderbilt person on here. So just an aside, like you would think that might be one of the easier ones because there really aren't many people that
that's what
It was hard.
So Corey was our first one. Do you know what team was hardest for us to get? I'll give you one guess and then I'll tell you. Now keep in mind it's somebody we played, so I didn't, it's not like a Mississippi State or even Ole Miss. So it's somebody we're playing this year.
So South Carolina?
South Carolina.
Yep.
I know a guy. It had to be the 10th South Carolina. We even had a South Carolina show planned, and then the guy kind of went, no communication. So South Carolina show with Jack Veltri from Locked On Gamecocks was actually weeks after when it was supposed to be because of that reason. South Carolina was our show.
Jack seemed like
a million of them.
He seemed like a good guy. Yeah, he so that
really
was
good
cool.
guy. And he's a writer too. So I think we've had like 90% podcasters on and one writer, and he was great.
So how different would you say that experience is?
That one was 0 because he was full of So I only say that because I was on another show and somebody was like, "Hey, you got to be careful writers because sometimes their their personality's not there." Right. That was great. You would not have guessed it was strictly right. Now he does a radio show, I guess, in the morning too, so maybe that's part of it. The personality really showed. And our show, we're going to be like, look, we're going to have some fun. If you're strictly facts, like you're probably not fitting in here. We got to get some laughs out of you,
Yeah.
And he was great. So, Rodg, am I right? That's like the only writer I think we've had.
Yep.
It can be different.
Jay from Oklahoma, I don't know if he was necessarily a writer, right?
No, he was he has 2 podcasts, Unfair Sports and Locked On Sooners. So
yeah.
There you go. And usually you get those guys, like I can think of a handful of people, three maybe, that they don't want to be on camera. You don't want them on camera. It's not good. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not good. Yeah. And but for the most part, given this ecosystem the way it is now, everybody's more comfortable coming on and talking and doing whatever. And more than half of them are like, heck yeah, let me get on some podcasts because I want to do more of that. Because they all have visions of growth for themselves. Yep. They're trying to get better. So
I agree. Yeah. All right. Like we said, Locked On Vanderbilt will be joining us. Corey Burton will be joining us on Tuesday, and then we'll be back next Saturday. Domo might be joining us. Randy.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you,
we
man.
appreciate you.
It's always a good time. Always some good drinks too. So that's another side. I appreciate it. Everybody, you guys have a wonderful night, and come back and join us next week.
Oh yeah. Roll Tide.
I kicked our outro out. Love y'all.
So how about them fucking dogs?